Please let's welcome Dr. Amy Goldberg, Dean of Katz Medical School at Temple University and Vice President of Temple University Health System. Before I give the floor to Dr. Goldberg, let me recap some of the most important steps in her career. Over more than 30 years of dedication to medical education, clinical practice, and community service at Temple and beyond. Dr. Goldberg received her medical degree from the Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York City. She then completed her residency in general surgery at Temple University Hospital and a fellowship in traumatology and critical care at the University of Maryland, with additional leadership training at Harvard University. Dr. Goldberg moved to Temple, initially as a surgery resident back in 1987, and joined the faculties a few years later, and has held a series of leadership positions over the years, including Chief of the Trauma and Surgical Critical Care Division and Chair of the Department of Surgery. In 2022, she has been named Dean of the Lewis Katz School of Medicine, and currently she also serves on multiple Temple University Health System boards. A master trauma surgeon, Dr. Goldberg spent many years leading Temple's trauma program, coming face to face with Philadelphia's gang violence epidemic. Adamant to stem the tide, she created violence prevention programs that have garnered the attention of media, such as the National Public Radio, ABC News, CNN, the New York Times, and the Washington Post. Multiple awards have lauded Dr. Goldberg for her groundbreaking work, including the Philadelphia Award, recognizing extraordinary civic commitment and social responsibility. A fellow of the American College of Surgeons, Dr. Goldberg has been named among the best doctors in America and is likewise acclaimed for teaching. She has earned the Great Teacher Award, Temple's University highest teaching honor, and the Lindbeck Foundation Award for distinguished teaching. As you might have construed from her bio sketch, Dr. Amy Goldberg is a bit like Temple itself. Tough, effective, and caring. Dear Amy, thank you very much for having accepted our invitation to be the keynote speaker at the graduation day of class 2025 at Cattolica University. So graduates, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the audience, join me in giving a very warm welcome to Dr. Amy Goldberg.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your warm welcome and for the great honor of joining you for this wonderful day and this important occasion. And thank you, Professor Giovanni Gambassi, for the invitation. I am truly thrilled to be here. Let me begin by extending my heartfelt congratulations to everyone gathered here to celebrate. I want to recognize Vice Deans Gambato, Professor Mantini, faculty, university leadership, and guests who've helped shape the journey of today's graduates. Your dedication to education and to the future of medicine is deeply inspiring. Founded on the principles of service, compassion, and rigorous scholarship, Cattolica University truly stands as a beacon of Catholic intellectual tradition and medical excellence, preparing physicians not only to treat illness, but to serve humanity with dignity and purpose. As this class joins your community of distinguished alumni across the globe, I am certain that their work and practice, wherever it takes them, will serve as an enduring testament to their alma mater. To the families and loved ones of our graduates, speaking from experience, I can tell you that it means the world that you are here for this important milestone. You have also experienced this journey through medical school, and from a vantage point that, though rewarding, is not without its own challenges. I know the deep pride that you feel today, and I assure you that these new doctors would not be here without your care and support. And especially, congratulations to the graduates, to all of you. That's why we're all here today, for all of you. Earning your medical degree, preparing for the beginning of your residency, and taking your next steps out of this auditorium as doctor, it is an incredible, incredible achievement. This moment marks a transition, one that is as deeply personal as it is professional. It's a privilege for me to be with you and to share a few reflections that I hope will stay with you as you move forward. I first reflect on where we are, where you have chosen to study, in the Eternal City, a place of astonishing history and bastion of enduring humanism. It was here that Galen practiced, that Renaissance thinkers redefined anatomy, a place where art, religion, philosophy, and science have long converged and have shaped the world's understanding of what it means to be human, which makes it the perfect place to begin a life in medicine. Because medicine, too, is a blend of the scientific and the sacred. It's about treating disease, about healing, but more than that, it is about understanding the person who needs to be healed. That understanding is what elevates medicine from practice to purpose. You are not just graduating into a profession, you are stepping into a lifelong journey. And here's what I can tell you about that journey. You won't always know where it's headed. There will be turns you don't expect. But if you stay grounded in your purpose, if you let your values lead, you will find your way to exactly where you're meant to be, to where your passion and practice can do the most good, to where your care will have the most impact. Like each of you, I stepped into this career with an idea of the kind of doctor I wanted to become. But I had no idea where that path would take me. In fact, it's particularly meaningful for me to be here in Rome. Back in 1987, as a medical student applying for surgical residency, the ideas that inspired my personal statement were born right here. I wrote about Michelangelo, how he studied anatomy in the morgues of Italy, not for clinical practice, but to elevate his art, to render the human form with precision and appreciation that only comes from understanding the beautiful and intricate structure that creates us. When I received the invitations to speak with you today, it gave me the chance to revisit that statement, something I hadn't read in years. And yes, I still have a copy, typed on a typewriter, because I knew how meaningful this could possibly be for me. Reading it now, nearly 4 decades later, was powerful. It gave me the chance to really reflect on what I wanted then when I sat where you all are today, what I knew and what I didn't, and the distance I've traveled since. a full circle moment that I'm genuinely grateful for. In that statement I wrote, quote, "If a doctor is expected to heal, he too, like Michelangelo, must delve beneath the integument. However, the doctor is faced with challenge that is twofold, a physical challenge as well as a metaphysical one," unquote. The medical world has benefited greatly from the technological advances akin to living in a futuristic society. We've been given new tools to help in the diagnosis of disease. But I continue to write, quote, "We are not privileged like Michelangelo to agonize solely over the purely physical. We are expected to heal not only the physical being, but also the soul that is a part of that physical being," unquote. And second, quote, "that we are given the privilege to explore where very few can, and there is nothing as totally mysterious and miraculous as the inside of the human body," unquote. Reading those words again is deeply, deeply humbling. That young medical student became a trauma surgeon, a teacher, and today I'm honored to serve as Dean of the Lewis Katz School of Medicine at Temple University in Philadelphia, the very place I matched for a general surgical residency and where I have built my career. I close that statement by saying that as I pursued my career as a surgeon, I hoped to teach in some capacity. That was the dream. And now, I have the privilege of not just teaching, but leading a school that, like yours, trains the next generation of change makers in medicine. It's a reminder that the vision you hold now may lead to places you can't yet imagine. And that's the beauty of this path. Of course, the journey wasn't always smooth. One of my first experiences in the emergency department, I carried smelling salts because I would get faint when patients cried out in pain. The first surgery I observed, a cesarean section, I spent most of the procedure on the floor, literally head down, head between my knees, trying not to pass out. It's funny now to think that I became a trauma surgeon, but that's how it works. You find your way by stepping into discomfort and staying there long enough to grow. Those moments, those early challenges earn you the credit to keep going. They build your resilience. They define your character. You will face scrutiny, pressure, moments of uncertainty, but you also know purpose, clarity, and the extraordinary power of connection. During medical school, you have learned the principles of biochemistry, pharmacology, and microbiology. You've become adept at diagnosing congestive heart failure, pneumonia, and pyelonephritis. You've mastered many of the complexities of science, which will serve as the foundation of your continued mastery of medicine. However, even with these many academic accomplishments, you have only mastered a portion of medicine that embodies our profession. You've experienced a medical education informed and supported by advances in technology that even 10 years ago we could have only dreamt of. But as you go forward into your practice, you must remember, medicine is not just a science, and medicine is not only technology. The human connection, the healing presence, that's the art of medicine. It is the way you speak, the way you listen. It is your courage, your empathy, your humility, your warm touch, and your compassion. That's something the great artists of the Renaissance understood deeply. Michelangelo, Da Vinci, they knew that the scientific and the spiritual must move together. That to fully understand the body was also to honor the person within it. Especially in today's world where artificial intelligence technology is creating new advancements, and efficiencies in medicine every single day, we must redouble our commitment to keep our patients, the human beings entrusted to our care, at the center of everything that we do. As Dr. Francis Weld Peabody of Harvard Medical School in 1925 stated, the secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient. And that is your tasks as physicians, to do both, to master the science and to master the art. Do not expect this mastery to be immediate or easy. It is a lifelong endeavor, one I continue to embrace, while it also challenges me. There is no curriculum or textbook to guide us. As a young medical student, I vividly remember a professor during rounds who impressed upon us that the patients wait all day to see their doctors. I would add that not only is this statement still true today, but that it extends beyond the inpatient bed. Patients wait all day and sometimes all night to see or hear from their doctor, whether it is delivering the unfortunate results of a test or making the patient feel comfortable in the sterile coldness of an office exam room. It is again the mastery of the art, above and beyond the mastery of the science, that makes all the difference. Can you make your patients feel comfortable in your office at a time when they are feeling most vulnerable? Can you gather a history of the present illness when you know the patient is desperately trying to deny that they have any illness? This is a tall order. We know before we enter this profession that is going to be challenging. And yet now, at this milestone, I'm sure that the gravity and difficulty of this dual mastery is truly sinking in. You will find more than once that you will stumble, and that is okay. You will not be perfect physicians, and you will find that patients will be more understanding than you are of yourself. In a profession where we are supposed to be the providers of care, you will be amazed at the times the patients and their families will reach out to you. After telling my patient that she had a recurrence of breast cancer, she saw the disappointment and sadness on my face. She responded, "Don't worry, I'll be okay." After hours of operating on a young trauma patient with devastating vascular injuries, I informed his father we had done everything we could, that I had not expected his son to live. His father looked me right in the eye and said, "My son is strong. He will live." And he did. You will not be perfect, but you must commit to continuing to try. There is a quote that is close to my heart, framed in my office, that inspires me on a daily basis. From United States President Theodore Roosevelt, spoken over a century ago in a speech called "The Man in the Arena." He said, quote, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbled, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again." Unquote. He reminds us that you can't be afraid to fail greatly. If you are brave enough to try, to make the attempt, to be bold, then, quote, "your place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." You've chosen a profession that places you in the arena every day. As you leave this place and step into the next chapter of your journey, remember this: your training, your knowledge, your clinical skills, they are powerful, but they are only truly effective when joined with empathy, humility, and compassion. The power you hold to make a positive difference, one person at a time. One voice, one action, one decision can make all the difference for a patient. Even in a world that can feel chaotic or out of control, Never underestimate the impact that you have and that you can have. Because for the person in front of you, that person who's anxious, afraid, hurting, you may be the one who brings answers or comfort or hope. That is the power that you carry into every room you walk into. Keep that close, and the art of medicine will always follow. So congratulations. This moment marks the next step in a journey that holds great promise and great responsibility. Carry it with pride, lead with purpose, and above all, practice with your whole humanity. You are ready. Enjoy the journey. Buon viaggio. Grazie. Thank you.